All right, guys, I have made a decision about what we're going to do for the rest of the week based on the fact that UIL is happening, based on the fact that spring break is coming up, based on the fact that we have to have a major exam, and we've only had one quiz. When we get back from spring break, it's time for progress reports. And some of you are in desperate need of some good quiz grades and a good test grade. Now, I had originally said the test would be Friday, but it's 25 questions long, and some of you have a hard time finishing that long of a test in one period. So we'll probably start the test on Thursday. Today and probably tomorrow, I don't really want to learn any new stuff. I don't want to start systems of equations, word problems, because that's tough. And you guys are going to be off for a week and you're going to forget it all anyway. So we're going to focus on grade raising. You're going to take some grade raising quizzes. At least I hope that's what it will be for you. Tomorrow's GRQ, grade raising quiz, is going to be over inequalities. This stuff right here. 12 of them. Mia, did you hear that? So I want you to make a great grade on tomorrow's quiz. And I'm also going to go over with you what's on today's quiz. All right. This first picture. The first thing I would ask myself, is it shaded above or below? Above. So I know it's going to be greater than. Then I would look at the line itself, Dylan. Is it solid or dashed? Okay, so what does that mean? All right, I don't put an extra little equal sign with the symbol. It's just a greater than symbol. Not with this one, not with number 1. Now, if it had been solid, that's when you put the equal. Okay, so it's just greater than. Then all you do, Dylan, is you stop talking and you look for the y-intercept and the slope. Looks like the slope here is 4. So this is y is greater than 4x minus 3. That's the picture. And again, if this were solid, the only thing that would change is it would be greater than or equal to. And it would change if it were shaded down here from greater than to less than. So other than that, it's just like trying to find the equation of a line. But you got to know the symbol, and you've got to know which direction the shading is. Now, number 2 is kind of a special case because it's an outlaw. So we usually say, is it above or below? Not with an outlaw line. You say, is it to the right or to the left? This one is shaded to the right. Now, think about outlaw lines, remember, are about x's. Are the x's getting bigger to the right or smaller to the right? Bigger. Okay, this line right here, if I was just asking you about this line, that line would be x equals 2. I'm sorry, negative 2, thank you. But what do all these points over here have in regards to an x value? Are they bigger than negative 2 or smaller than negative 2? They're all bigger. Every point in that shaded section has an x value that's going to get bigger because the x's are getting bigger as you go to the right. So we would say x is not less than, greater than, negative 2. If you pick any point in this shaded area, like this point right here, is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, comma, 5, 5. Is the x value bigger than 2? I mean negative 2? Absolutely. Any point over here has an x value that's bigger than negative 2. Here, the x values do what? They get smaller. Okay, let's do a couple more. What if it's in the middle? What do you mean? Oh, like if I did it on the y-axis? Okay, let's do that. And it's a solid line. Look at this. And I'm going to shade, let's say, to the left this time. What do we say about this one? X, because it's straight up and down, is less than or equal to 0. Because that line, the y-axis, is x equals 0. But I'm shading in every space to the left, which is where all the x values to the left will get smaller than 0. Because all of these x values over here are negative. Okay, let's try one that's kind of steeply going down. Because sometimes the steep ones give kids trouble. Okay, and I'm going to make this one solid. And I'm going to shade here. Now, these can be kind of tricky. Is that above or below? Okay, ladies, I'm real tired of feeling like I'm talking to myself sometimes. This is shaded below. Is the line solid or dashed? Solid. So this is going to start out y is less than or equal to. Well, it depends on what direction your line is. If it's under, below and above is how I think of this. Unless it's one of those vertical lines, then it's to the right or the left. But I think of it as above or below. This to me is below. It's under. And then what's the y-intercept for? And the slope. Now be careful. This slope's negative. A lot of you miss negative slopes. You report them as positive for some reason. But this, you got to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1. So this would be y is less than or equal to negative 5x plus 4. Okay, try this one. What would that one be? X is greater than or equal to negative 3. Because the line itself is x equals negative 3, but I shaded to the right of it. And to the right of it, what are the x values doing? They're getting bigger, not smaller. They're getting bigger. Okay, what if we did just one that was horizontal? Oh, wait, let me make it, hold on a second. Let me make it dashed. And I'm going to shade this section. Yeah, now it's just a flat line. The line itself would be y equals 1, but I dashed it, so we can't say equals. And then I shaded above. It's real easy to see with completely flat. This is above. So here we would say y is greater than 1. All the y values in that section are greater than 1. Every single point in that section has a y value greater than 1. What if this had been solid? Y is greater than or equal to 1. What if it had been shaded under instead of above? That would have been less than or equal to. So that's what tomorrow's grade raising quiz will be over. Now, today's grade raising quiz is over plain old, good old-fashioned lines. There's at least 3 questions where I give you 2 points, like 2, 5, negative 3, 1, and I ask you to find the equation. There's 3 questions like that. How would you do that? Stat, edit, stat, calculate. Do it real quick, because I am going to make you do a little bit more work. How to do this in the calculator? Okay, I'm going to go to stat. If I give you points, but not an equation, everything happens in stat. Okay, well, hold on. Let's clear out our old stuff. Always make sure you have L1 and L2 showing. Because if L1 and L2 aren't here, it's not going to work. This is like your X and your Y. And some kids accidentally delete the whole column, and then you just need to reset the whole calculator. Alright, so 2, 5, and then the other point is negative 3, 1. So now that I've got my points in stat edit, I hit stat again. But I already edited. Now I'm going to calculate. And it's the one that about aligned, because this is all about lines. And then you just have to hit enter a whole bunch of times till it gives you the slope and the y-intercept. Now, I'm probably going to want fractions. What's 0.8 as a fraction? Okay, so this would be y equals 4/5 x. And then 3.4. Again, if you want to make it into a fraction, you just put in 3.4, hit math. It's already on fraction. Enter, enter. Plus 17 over 5. So that's the answer I would like to see right there. And the reason why I want you to go ahead and make them fractions is because guess what else I'm going to make you do? I'm going to make you give me standard form 2. So you would give me that answer, and then you would have to give me the standard answer. And I don't feel bad about this answer at all, because the calculator does that for you. So the work on these problems comes when I also want you to give me standard form. You're going to have a column for standard and a column for slope-intercept. How would I convert this to standard? Multiply everything by 5. Okay, so that would become 5y. 5 times y is 5y. If you're confused about how to do 5 times 4/5, do it in your calculator. Please make sure you put the fraction part, though, in parentheses. 5 times 4/5 should just turn into 4x. And then plus what? 17. So no fractions. X's and y's on the same side. So I need to bring this guy to the other side. Negative 4x plus 5y equals 17. Now, I want us all, just to make my life easier, folks, listen to what I'm going to ask you to do. Let's make sure we all have positive x's, just so I don't have to check two different versions of the same answer. This one didn't happen to have positive x's. I'm going to force them to be positive. That means all the signs will change. I'm going to multiply by -1. So final answer, 4x minus 5y equals -17. So you're going to give me the answer you get straight out of the calculator. Then you're going to convert that answer into standard form with a positive x. Do we need to do another one of those? All of them. Now, the last 4 questions on the test, though, are like this. The last 4 questions on the test are basically converting from standard to slope-intercept. So, like the first problem might look like this. -2x plus 3y equals, let's say, 10. Now, guess what? It's pretty much already in standard form, so this question should be super easy to put in standard form. The only thing I want you to do is what? Make the x positive. So that part shouldn't be a problem at all. You've got to convert it to slope-intercept for me, though. That's the work on this one. So it's either going to be work in making it from slope-intercept to standard or from standard to slope-intercept. That's pretty much where most of the work comes in on this quiz. So if I want to make this into slope-intercept, I got to move the 2x over. It becomes positive 2x, and then I divide everything by 3. So that's what I would put for slope-intercept. What would I put in the standard form column? What would I put in the standard form column? Positive 2x minus 3y equals -10. That's all you have to do on that one to put it in standard form. Jason. Whenever you divide by 3, can you do it like this? Y equals 2x plus 10 all in parentheses and then divided by 3? Yes, but I just prefer you to put it the other way because it's easier for me to grade. Okay, let's look at another one. What if this was what I gave you? 4x minus 7y equals 12. What would you put for the standard form of that? Exactly that. 4x minus 7y equals 12. So isn't that going to be an easy 5 points for you? I hope so. I don't have to change anything about it. The x's are positive. It's already x's and y's on the same side. That's the answer. If I want the answer in standard form, I'm done. But what if I want it in slope-intercept, which I do? Move the 4x's over, divide everything by -7, and then just clean it up. Y equals positive 4/7 because a negative over a negative should be positive. Minus 12/7. That's what I would want to see in the slope-intercept column. Okay, now there is a problem that looks like this. 2x minus 4y minus 10 equals 0. That's not in any form. How would I put that in standard form? Just move the 10 over. So that in standard form would just be 2x minus 4y equals 10. And then again, I'm not going to mess with point slope today. It's standard and slope-intercept today. That's all I'm messing with today. And then if I wanted the slope-intercept, which I will ask for that, then you would move the 2x to the other side, divide everything by -4, and clean it up. That would be y equals what? 1/2 x, positive 1/2 x, minus, now 10 over 4 is reducible. 5 over 2, that's what I would want to see in the other column. And again, if I give you something like this, -2x minus 7y equals 12, what's the only thing you got to do to that to put it in standard form? Force these to be positive, which means everything changes. So that would be 2x plus 7y equals -12. Okay, so 4 questions on the test are converting from mainly what looks like mainly standard form into slope-intercept form. And if I want the standard form of that, you just have to make sure the x's are positive. Okay, and then the other part of the test, the first part of the test, is either giving you 2 points or a point and a slope. So are we okay with that? Are you sure? One more. Slope equals 1/2, and it goes to the point -4, -8. Now, I want both Standard and slope-intercept. Get busy, folks. I don't want to hear talking. This is your review right here. This is supposed to be a GRQ. Let's make sure it is. Grade Raising Quiz. No, this is review. What does B equal here? -6. So the first answer you would give me is y equals 1/2 x minus 6. That would go in the column of slope-intercept. Now, what about the standard column, though? I'm going to have to get rid of the fraction by multiplying everything by what? By 2. So let me make some space for that. So I have y equals 1/2 x minus 6. I'm going to double everything to get rid of that fraction. That would give me 2y equals 1x minus 12. I could move the x's over. Negative x plus 2y equals negative 12. And I just want all the x's to be positive just to make my life easier. So what would your final answer be? X minus 2y equals 12. So here is your slope-intercept. Here is your standard. And that's the main part of the test right there. Now, the homework that was due today, really, we're going to hold off on that because I want to make sure you have time for the quiz, and I want to give you some hints on it. First of all, the x-intercept question. I don't know if you've gotten to that. Well, hopefully you've gotten to that. You have to zoom out twice to be able to see it. So I don't know if you had a problem finding the x-intercept. It's because it's a pretty big number, and you've got to zoom out twice before you can find the x-intercept. I mainly wanted you to understand from that lesson what independent and dependent mean, what the slope means, what y-intercepts and x-intercepts usually mean. Your homework for tonight is page 325, 1 to 10. Please look at that right now. It's all about looking at a picture of an inequality and writing down the shade, what it's shading and what the line would be. Please look at 325 right now so I can make sure you can see the shading, because not all the copies came out real good, and on some of them I actually had to pencil in some shading so you could see it. So look at page 325, 1 to 10. I'll leave your booklet open and I'll come show you where the shading is. On most of them you can kind of faintly see, but if you really can't see where the shading is, let me know and I'll fix it for you. This is your homework. It's written over there on the sideboard. You're going to do the quiz for the rest of the period, and then you're going to do this homework, and then you're going to hopefully make a great grade on this quiz, and then tomorrow you're going to make another great grade.